Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be covering some Cardano news, some Ethereum news, and a little bit of Solana. If you haven't already, do subscribe to our channel, support us, let us know what you think, and click on the bell and get your latest news in crypto and opinion, because that's one thing I love to give. Alright, so let's get started with this. Hoskinson. If you don't know who he is, you should. Chances are you probably heard about him a little bit from the news going on, especially with Cardano actually having a pretty good run in the past week, especially waiting for this new fork. Well, he is actually, denying that Ethereum Merge is actually going to be released this year, but thinks it could potentially be next year, the 2023 or 2024. I find it very funny that Hoskinson actually disagrees with this timeline, and some of you may say that it's credible given that he's the co-founder of Ethereum. But isn't it weird that, of course, they're kind of rivals at this point, and being the fact that he jumped from Ethereum all the way to Cardano is one thing special, right? So he disagrees with this timeline. He's saying that, of course, the Ethereum upgrade 2.0 is scheduled to move completely to the proof of work mechanism and around August this year. This is what we're speaking on. And he says that this is actually hearts of investors is much needed push for the digital asset. But he disagrees with this completely altogether. Now, he said that he explained that 2.0 not be happening in 22, and that the coins are going to be locked until potentially 2 years for later, and that this is going to be negative for the investors. But I find it even more weird that Cardano has been doing really, really bad in the past year, and we can take a look at that a little bit later on. Now, of course, Ethereum has been behind as well, given that everything's been delayed and delayed. But Cardano is pretty much the same boat, dropping from around $3 down to 50 cents, even lower. Now, that's kind of a cat scratch, if you would, moving in. He took a dig at the smart contracts network and explained that 2.0 was not happening anytime soon, and that Ethereum 1.5 was already available, and that this is a Polkadot network. Oh, lovely. So, according to the official website, 2.0 is meant to happen this year, and that is called the Merge. And this Merge, the mainnet is already running on Beacon Chain. This is going to do the rid of the network and energy and sensitive proof of work mechanism to proof of stake. We'll expect it to cut the cost around 95%. Well, of course, we all want this to happen. It's all good and great. But the whole point of this news article right now is that he is saying that is not going to happen. Well, having a lot on the plate can be a little daunting. So, of course, he needs to show his part with Cardano first and be careful of what he speaks, right? All right, let's move to the next part. Catching quite some laughs, I found it very funny that in the same breath, not too far apart, he also was deciding to toot his own horn, saying that this crypto market, and as far as Cardano, is growing exponentially. I mean, I repeat to you, he's saying that it's growing exponentially, as it appears for a major upgrade. Imagine a major upgrade. All right, yeah, that's cool. That's right. It is going to have that hard fork, right? And it's going to do that, the vassal hard fork, as they're calling it. So he's already fighting with the league already at this point. So he said, quote, and there's another side. You have to improve performance, be able to handle increased demand. If you take a look at the transaction volume in Cardano, we're growing exponentially right now. And so if you needed to, you can bring some upgrades in and make sure that we can handle that ecosystem. Well, let's get through this one first. Normally, the same thing for Solana. And we'll cover that in just a moment. Solana also had this huge hopes, and it's also crashed 4 months. At least once a month, it's crashing. Wow, I wonder what those people are so brave about, right? No. So of course they're saying that it can continue. The bull markets, and stated here, the bull markets are actually quite comfortable. I've personally been through about 6 bear markets now, and every time we've seen major advancements, and that's where the smart contract revolution came from. That's where a lot of the DeFi revolution came from, and this particular one, many are focused on their operability improvements. So according from him, the examples of the improvements like integrating things like ISO 222, open banking initiative of crypto space, portability, scalability protocols, so forth and so on, and of course the NFTs on the blockchain. So notice that it's actually starting to grow for the NFT space. About 40% of the applications are being deployed on NFT related. $270 billion a month, they're saying. Well, that's great. No, it's really good. No, seriously. That's cool. But let's keep in mind that Cardano is kind of struggling through. I've never been a huge Cardano fan, and I'm not taking away that they have actually grown a little bit. Anybody, and right now, everybody's hungry. Everybody's pretty hungry for some kind of plus, and they want some bull seed, right? So, of course, when they start to see this, any improvements going through, buying into the news, jumping up, but of course, this will correct itself in time. And all of this hype that's going on. Everybody buys into the hype. Everybody does this. We've seen this so many different times. We've seen this with Luna, Terra Luna, coming back to it, and Do Kwon, right? We're seeing when they started to crash, people started going crazy and buying, right? They said, "Oh, well, they're going to burn coins. Let's buy." And now look at it; it's still doing the same thing. And even worse, now Do Kwon is probably going to prison. And some other news. So he's rejected. They're investigating him. He's laundering money. He has all of these different things going on. And of course, they bought into this news. They made some change. They made 100x, 10x, but the 100x is not really major when it's like 100 times less than a penny. It's not that big. It's not that big of a deal where it was from $90, right? $80. It's not the same coin here, so you can't say, "Oh, it's $90. It's just 100x on me." Yeah, that's not that impressive. And it's only fake. It's only a fake pump. People pumped it and dumped it. They used it, and so this big thing, it's not that major for me. So the same thing is going to happen with Cardano. I'm afraid it will go to $1, but it's already kind of crashed before. A major, it just completely just started declining from going from August, and this was another big thing that they were saying, that when Cardano is actually, is going up. It was like the same thing. They had the same deal back in September of last year. First of all, it was not September of last year. It was in August that they had this huge pump. And so the news had already lied to you. August was that big pumping moment from the beginning of July towards the end. And September was the moment of the declination of it actually falling. So when they're telling you, yeah, this is going to be the same thing like last year in September, I hope not. I hope it's really truly not the same thing as it was in September, because that's really where you see that downfall happening in. Just funny that I've seen that in the news. What I like to do about this channel, showing you between the bullshit and everything else. So if they're telling you, "Oh yeah, it's going to just be like in September," yeah, don't fall for that. That's not a good sign. And chances are you're probably not going to jump to your graphs and actually look to see what it did in 2021. So it's a big thing. So we need to kind of follow up on that, first of all. And other news as well. Let's get off the Cardano boat for a moment, right? So moving in, right? Solana price just one breakdown away from a 40% slide in June. Here's why. All right. First of all, Solana is already kind of really fighting it off anyways, considering that they keep getting shut down. So they're saying here in this article that Solana has been trending lower, about 85% from that November peak of around $267, and that the likelihood of breaking below the triangle range is higher. Fantastic. Great. I will definitely have to reconsider what I'm going to do with my soul. Well, as that technical analysis, it moved down from the formation of descending triangle that could last until the price has fallen much as the triangle's maximum. They give it a lovely little calendar here, and that's about where I would expect it as well. And it could jump up. No, let's be honest. It can jump up. But given the fact that they're constantly getting shut down, they're constantly having these blackouts go through, this is a big negative thing. It shows instability as far as the network goes, right? So now they're saying that the steady construction by Samurai Trading Academy, now the likelihood of the ascending triangle setup reached its profit around 7 out of 10 based on the pattern's history. That's not good, guys. That's not good. So that roughly around 30% chance of avoiding a breakdown and rebounding. 30% chance of avoiding a breakdown. 30%. Think about that. 30% chance. That, and who knows? Maybe you could be wrong. Maybe you could fall within that 30%. That's cool. Hey, But given the market that we're in, the trends that's going on right now, that is not somewhere where you really want to be. And so they also go on to prove that the strong above the triangle's horizon horizontal trendline support, then the SOL and US dollar pair could break above the structure's falling trendline resistance and rise as much as the maximum high, which puts it upside target around 65 up, but about 72% from today's price. That's cool too. That's cool. But if you're going back inside, you're just kind of breaking even, especially if you started buying into that dip and you entered the market wrong. Right? Not saying all of that, but the descending triangle's bullish profit target also coincides with SOL's 50-day exponential and around $59. So could go up, could go down vibes. Great analysis, bruh. Pick Twitter, blah blah blah. This is posted on Twitter. So 75% from the peak. 75 from peak. That sounds a little familiar, a little too close. So quote here, we have a quote from the excerpts of this study that several factors contributed to the Q1 results, including the continued growth of the NFT and NFT markets, TVL, diversification, improvements in UX, and the new applications across several sectors. Yeah, but the thing is that all of this, again, they have to maintain this. Of course, there's nothing really major kind of coming out for Solana right now, other than what is buying in this news. There will just be sharks at the bottom waiting for it to fall through, just like Terra Luna, and to ready to pick this up at a much cheaper price for it to actually kind of work through if it doesn't crash and burn. I don't think Solana will crash and burn, but it is one of the worst coins to buy right now, along with AVAX. They're some of the worst performing coins out there to date. And if we're going back to the whole Cardano situation, I would see the same thing, just kind of completely just falling since September. It's just like nonstop. I slowly watched this coin die. It was traumatic. No, but in general, Solana is kind of facing some pretty hardships, and it is able to actually crash more so. So it's not just what they're saying; it's a very high likelihood given this market, what we were just discussing. So there's no big, huge positive market structures that's really going to take it back anywhere else. There's nothing else that happened. There's literally no changes in that structure for it to kind of rebound and go back up. So that's where they're kind of pulling that whole 30%. So to fall 40% is quite a bit from today's price. And that's crazy. That's crazy to think about. So anyways, that's enough of my rant. Thank you guys for joining me. Do subscribe, drop a comment. Let me know what you think in those comments. Let me know, do you think it's going to pump? Is it going to fall 40% or is it going to rise to 70%? Let me know in those comments below. Thank you guys for joining me. Catch you again next time.